I'm gonna live forever. I'm gonna kiss tomorrow's sky. I mean, not that it matters, but I used to watch that show Family Matters. One time, today actually, I had to shit and it was hard to shit. It felt like it was gonna be easy to shit. It felt like, damn, I gotta shit. And I go to shit, it was hard to push that out. I might have had a mini heart attack. And then half of my shit sunk and half of my shit floated. I just thought that y'all might need to know that. I don't know. You know, everything's a trap now. You see, like if I get on social media and I make content instead of consuming content, it doesn't matter if I consume content or create content. Oh, JD Vance and his little group over there, they will analyze everything and they will build a profile on my personality to predict my future movements. Used to, they built the cage by just building a city. Now they're building a social credit system, facial recognition. It's a very special type of madness that these people want so much control over everything, over the world. They've been the most successful because they haven't done it at the edge of a sword, but the edge of a pen. In bank ledgers. Where'd you get that from? Joe, what you got? I don't think you're supposed to be having that bone, dog. Y'all see this? Hello, boys and girls. This video is not made for kids. Oh, I know it ain't made for kids now. I know it ain't. Dude, are you alright? You look like what? I look like what? Nothing, man. Nothing, man. Whoa, my worker. Whoa. Here's my other shoe. Continuity. Ted's over there with the other one now. I feel like that's something red on it. What? Oh, y'all want something to eat, probably, huh? Here's your piece right here. You don't need none a little bit. You got food in the house. So most of that stuff you see in movies eventually happens. And I don't think it's always them, the whole idea of to avoid the karma, they got to get people to agree so they tell you what they're doing before they do it. I don't think that's all of it. I think that's some of it. I think some of it is multiple people in the world come up with the same ideas at the same time. Because there's already all the little bits of information out there to come up with the same ideas. I don't believe that, like with the invention of the telephone, two people, one in Brazil, one in America, were coming up with the idea at the same time. I don't believe one stole the idea from the other. They just come up with the idea at the same time. And now they say that all human brains are connected to one another. These low frequency, some magnetic waves, something like that. And we share a sort of swarm intelligence, a sort of hive mind. My brother Josh used to talk about the hive mind a lot before I really ever heard anybody else talking about it. You know, the crowd vibe, you see where if a bunch of monkeys start doing something new, other monkeys, there's a threshold number, I forget what it is, start doing it without being taught it anymore. It just sort of pops up in their head as an idea. It does seem like each species kind of has a swarm intelligence, various degrees. People don't really know what part of them is them, where they start and where they end, until, let's say, they've been thrown into solitary confinement, and then people go crazy. It's like people aren't even sane by themselves. They're dependent upon social interactions, and people get. And then you ever see how? Have you ever been in this situation where you and a few other friends are in a group, and you're trying to remember quite exactly the way something happened, and then one person remembers one part, and maybe somebody remembers something wrong. They're like, he had a red shirt, and someone's like, no, it was orange, and it's like, oh yeah. Then they remember. Other people, and they remember not just that, but other things about the event. And they're able to put the memory together more accurately when there's more than one person remembering the same thing. Because a memory is a collection of patterns, really. It's more for predicting the future. So all similar memories get kind of stacked on top of each other. Because your brain is not really looking for a perfect, accurate memory. It's a machine to predict patterns in the future. So it's wanting to store memory to predict the future. So if a lot of memories it may be more efficient for your brain to store memories by merging different memories together for that purpose than to keep them as distinct memories. That's one reason. But memory recall can get extremely accurate, though, when there's enough details and information there. Then the brain doesn't just pull a sort of generic memory that's a mixture of them, but that exact moment. But normally that has to be marked with emotion for recovery. Then there's something that you really miss with IQ is IQ isn't memory. It isn't music ability. It isn't intuition. It isn't being able to sense vibrations or see through optical illusions. It is a certain type of intelligence that does seem to be connected with your ability to make money, though. But it's not everything. It's not a full measure. I've cut down so many trees here, but the ones that are still there, man, there ain't all the big trees are gone. So much of the timber is not worth anything because it got twisted up so much by the storm. They're about to play. He jumped at him like he's going to play with him. So this is a bulldog, but he's friendly to everybody. He's still a bulldog though. But a bulldog is a dog that is misunderstood because it's a dog that needs a lot of attention and exercise and energy. And so it's like, you know how I was talking earlier about how some people are more or less social, right? A bulldog is a very social dog, which all dogs tend to be very social. But he's not a dog that's going to take being in solitary confinement well. He's not a dog, like if you're not giving him enough affection, like they're not going to be as mentally stable if you don't. You have to have time to have that breed of dog. And if you don't, you shouldn't have one. But there's a lot of people that see aggression doesn't mean that you have malicious intent. See, like lavender has epigenetic compounds that well, I'll just back up a little bit. Honeybees don't have as many genes or chromosomes as humans. So what they do is they use different combinations of them being switched on and off to get different effects. So if they want to be engaging some kind of immune system function, they may have to turn something off to turn something on. And they go and use a bunch of different epigenetic compounds in nature and various fungi and just various plants and all kind of things that change gene expression. Come here, dude. Brittany ain't here. She's cleaning the house. She's cleaning the house with the neighbor Vern. Well, look at what? Oh, okay. Look, I'm on live right now, Mama. Sis, you live. Look, Mama's got a new car. It does look good. There's different epigenetic compounds, like in lavender, that will turn aggression off in bees. There's a pheromone in banana, and it's like the same as the smell that bees have for aggression. So it'll turn on aggression. So if you was to take a banana peel and you was to put it in front of bees, they would get aggressive. If you was to take lavender and put it in front of bees, they would get calm, right? And they can't help it. It hijacks them on the level of the DNA, and it controls their behavior. There's nothing they can do about it. So they can't. So, and then you see something else, right? So now you've got your on and off switch for aggression, for peace or aggression in honeybees through these smells in lavender and banana, right? Now, if you go to the bee colony and you increase the aggression, they do not go into a mad frenzy and start fighting each other or just stinging the air when there's nothing to sting. They go into hyper cleaning mode and they get more work done. And they're very ordered. They clean the hive. But if you take the aggression and you turn it off, they stop cleaning the hive. They don't have the motivation. So aggression can be channeled into things other than malicious intent. Just because there's aggression doesn't mean that the individual that's got the aggression wants to harm anyone or is even using the aggression. Can be channeled into lifting more weights. Aggression can be channeled into just doing more work. And with honeybees, when they get more aggressive, they will clean more. And they won't clean as much if you turn that aggression off. So some people, they talk like toxic masculinity, or they see aggression as the main problem. We got to turn aggression off in humans. It's just going to be just like bees. You cannot turn the aggression off and then it just be that you've turned the aggression off. You're going to kill the motivation to even clean up the room. You're going to, you need. So with pit bulls, they do have a lot of aggression in them. It's in their nature to be aggressive, to have aggression in them. So if you make what a lot of people do is they abuse bulldogs when they're puppies. They train them to attack, and they make them very frustrated, and they don't give them a lot of affection or love, and then they become they build them to be like these starved guard dogs, and that's what gives the breed a bad reputation, really. But you can have a pit bull that you social or any kind of bulldog that you've socialized, and it can be aggressive but not violent and not trying to harm, but just wanting to play a lot, having a lot of enthusiasm and stamina to play, to run around. Aggression. It's multifaceted. It's not just you can be aggressively, like you can work aggressively. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be that you're like you just hate and aggression are not the same thing. I think that is a very good way to say it. Hate and aggression are not the same thing, and you can have one without the other. So you can have violence and aggression are not the same thing. I'm going to end this because I think I got like a kind of a complete thought in it.